I think road bike is pretty cool, and I agree with you. So, how about join me today and let's talk about a little bit about motorcycle. But first, let's move the bike aside. So this is Kawasaki's Ninja250 from 2014, and today I'm gonna use this one to explain you a little bit about bike. Okay, so one of the most asked questions is, okay bro, you got a one light broken. The fact is, for this kind of bike which has two sides, well, one side is usually the lower beam lamp and the other side is upper beam lamp. And I'm not sure if it's only in China or same everywhere, but once the engine start up, the lower beam lamp will be turned on automatically. And after this one, usually you won't turn the upper beam lamp on, right? And usually you will see, okay, it seems one light is dead, but the fact is, it's actually quite fun. And since we have already mentioned about the lights, there's one more special thing I want to mention with Kawasaki. So here you can see the tiny signature light is actually installed inside the body, and actually very few bikes do that. A lot of other bikes, they just extend the light out, and that is one of the reasons I prefer Kawasaki. I mean, it seems more smooth, and sometimes you might find there will be indicator system in the mirror system, where that means the bike isn't cheap, bro. Well, the other question I get asked a lot is how fast this bike can go. Well, I want to recommend you to go fast, but I will explain you how to check if the bike is fast or not. I mean, usually. So indicator number one, check the engine, but be honest, I have no idea how to check that engine. So instead of the engine, we can actually check the front side, which is the exhaust pipe. So here you can see there are two pipes connected to the engine and to the exhaust pipe. That means this is a two-cylinder bike. And usually the bike comes with one cylinder, two cylinder, or four cylinder. The more cylinders it has, the faster it will go usually. Indicator number two, the brake system. Well, as you can see, the brake is kind of small and it only has one side with disc. The other side is completely empty, which means this bike won't be too fast. And indicator 3 is the front fork. Usually there are two types of fork. This front fork is right side up front fork, and it's very conventional. So if you see the upside down front fork, usually that means the bike is faster and a little bit more expensive. The fourth place you can check the swing arm. For this bike, it has tiny arm, which is the one side, and the other side over here. For faster bike, usually it will be much larger. And also sometimes you will find a single swing arm on Augusta, on Ducati, which is quite strong and expensive. So this bike uses a two-cylinder engine and only one side with disc brake, and the right side up front fork. Doesn't have indicator in the mirror system, and a tiny double side swing arm. So in conclusion, this is not a fast bike. The top speed is limited to 135 km per hour. But be honest, I'm riding this bike for 6 years, and my first bike is Kawasaki 10R, which is a 1000cc motorcycle. What I feel is that top speed really doesn't matter if we are not going to a track, because you need to be able to ride your bike. I mean, like, even it's only a 250cc bike, I'm still not able to use it like at full potential. I think maybe only 60 to 70. So what does it matter? If a bike suits you and you can ride it for a long time, then that's a good bike. And there's one more thing I wanted to share with you. As mayor, I mean, it's not generalized, but usually we like to modify our car or motorcycle, right? And for this bike, I only do few modifications. So for practical usage, I've replaced the clutch handle and the brake handle. So the distance can be adjusted to suit you better, and also when it crashes, it kind of can be left out. And another thing I changed is the Daytona heat grip system. It has 4 levels, and just be honest, here in my city, when the temperature is around 5 to 10 degrees, with a heavy glove, you can barely feel the heat grip. So can I say it's useful? Well, of course, because sometimes at night when the temperature is not so low, like 15 to 20 degrees, it's still quite useful. And I used to bought a domestic which cost $15. It only lasts, I think, 1 or 2 years, and then it breaks. For the Daytona, it cost around $100 to $150, but it's quite reliable and the feeling is quite good. So I would definitely recommend you buy the Daytona if you kind of looking for a long run. And one recent modification I made is a USB charger. Well, I haven't used it yet because I only ride around 20 kilometers per day and the cell phone is always charged, but I'm thinking if I need to travel around, I can have this to charge my GoPro or charge my cell phone when I use it for navigation. I mean, always better to have it than you don't have it and you have no battery, right? Hope you found this video useful and see you in the next one.